Prime Minister provides update on gun amnesty, delivers 5 more homes under the new social housing program, and hails the country's public sector workers. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Vaughn Davis. First up, Prime Minister Andrew Holness updated the country on the gains made through the gun amnesty implemented from November 5 to 19. He revealed that 101 firearms and 3,000 rounds of ammunition were handed over to the authorities during the 2-week amnesty. The security forces also recovered 22 illegal firearms.
It has surpassed my expectation, but there are still many more, thousands more firearms, illegal firearms in our country, not to mention illegal ammunition.
For the firearms turned in, the Prime Minister said a number of them were from individuals who had not licensed the weapons for several years, or who may have inherited them and did not bother to get them regularized.
The amnesty was necessary to give those persons an opportunity to dispose of these weapons without having to bear the consequences of the new penalties under the new act.
Mr. Holness warned that with the amnesty over, persons found in breach of the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act 2022 would face the full penalty of the law. The Prime Minister also updated Parliament on the raft of measures being used to curb violence. He said the government was preparing legislation to provide stiffer penalties for murder.
My thoughts on the matter, though not yet finalized, but the thinking is that we should give 30 years minimum for murder. The Minister of Justice has been directed to bring those changes, because this has all been discussed already, to bring forward these changes immediately. We may not be able to catch this year, but early next year, we will be coming to the House with amendments to the penalty for murder.
Mr. Holness made the statement as he opened the debate on resolutions to extend the states of public emergency SOEs recently declared in several parishes and police divisions. The SOEs ended on November 29. He announced that a cabinet submission was expected by the end of December for tabling the Enhanced Security Measures Act in Parliament early next year. A new Fingerprint Act will also be brought to Parliament soon.
Currently, it is easier to get a DNA sample than it is to get a fingerprint. The act is old and outdated. It doesn't contemplate the new technologies that exist.
The proposed amendments will expand the powers of the courts to order the taking of fingerprints and photographs for several offences that were not covered under the old legislation. It will also expand the offences scheduled and the groups authorized to take fingerprints, extend the time for the retention of fingerprints, and provide for the use of approved modern technology for the electronic taking of fingerprints and the storage of data. On Wednesday, Prime Minister Holness signed a contract for a new water treatment plant to be constructed in Content, St. Catherine. The plant will transfer 15 million gallons of water to benefit approximately 150,000 customers in the Kingston metropolitan area, Portmore and Spanish Town. The project is valued at $77 million and construction is slated to be completed in 2 years. It will be managed through a public-private partnership agreement between the National Water Commission and Rio Cobre Water Limited. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the agreement will facilitate the design, build, financing, operation and maintenance of the plant,
followed by a 23-year period of operation by the private partners, after which ownership of the plant will be transferred to the NWC. The PPP arrangement may also be renewed for an additional 5 years.
Later that day, the Prime Minister recognized public servants island-wide in celebration of the 30th iteration of Civil Service Week. He attended the Long Service Awards ceremony to honor public sector workers who have served the country for more than 25 years. At the top of the week, State Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Marcia Smith, delivered Mr. Holness's message at the annual church service held to mark the observation. On Friday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness and Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett were on hand for the groundbreaking for a new boutique resort development, Unico, in Lilliput, St. James. The adults-only all-inclusive hotel will provide approximately 451 additional rooms to the accommodations sector. Prime Minister Holness welcomed the developer's plans to partner with government and provide housing solutions for the 600 new permanent employees that will be hired as part of the development.
We are also very much pleased to hear that you come to Jamaica with a social consciousness about housing for those 600 plus tourism workers. So if we are truly interested in building an excellent product, then we must not only build rooms for visitors, we also have to build rooms for the workers. And the government has a key role to play in ensuring that we have houses.
Still in the West, 5 units built under the new social housing program NSHP have been handed over to families in several communities across St. James. Prime Minister Andrew Holness presented the keys to beneficiaries in Norwood, Salt Spring, Lottery and Canaan on Friday.
What we're trying to do is to provide social housing according to the laws of Jamaica. So I want to assure Jamaica that there is no favoritism, skullduggery or any favoritism or cronyism being applied in the distribution of these houses.
Friday's presentations marked the delivery of 119 houses under the NSHP so far. Finally, Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week expressed sympathies to the family and colleagues of the late businessman, economist, academic and philanthropist Dr. Marshall McGowan Hall. Dr. Hall passed away on Tuesday. In paying tribute, Mr. Holness said Jamaica had lost one of its foremost academic thinkers and business leaders who played a critical role in helping to shape innovations in the economy. Throughout his career, Dr. Hall served as Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Jamaica Public Service, as well as Chairman of the Development Bank of Jamaica, the National Commercial Bank, Mutual Life, and the Caribbean Policy and Research Institute. He was also Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and head of the Department of Management Studies at the University of the West Indies, Mona, and was a widely published researcher and writer in the areas of micro and institutional economics. Additionally, Dr. Hall was instrumental in pioneering the large-scale modernization of banana production in Jamaica and boosting national employment and exports. This he achieved during his 40 years at the Jamaica Producers Group, where he was managing director for 27 years. And that's it for Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister. I am Vaughn Davis.